Hey everybody, welcome back to Habitat Kitchen. I'm Andrew Beauchamp. Today's going to be a bit of a different video. I'm going to be taking you guys through while I make our dinner for tonight. It's around 5:30 at night. So I'm going to be taking you through while I make dinner and just showing you guys what I've been doing to cut down on waste in this house. Tonight we're having a pasta dish, so I've already made our pasta dough, but I've wrapped it, and this is one of the ways we actually have been cutting down on waste. Instead of wrapping it in cling wrap, we use these quite wonderful fabric wax sheets. They work great. Try them, and not to mention, they're just pretty. Like, they come in many different colors, and I haven't tried making them my own yet. I usually buy them, but I hear they're really easy to make, so if you wanted to DIY some with some fun fabric you might have, give it a look. So I'll get right into it. Let's get into making the pasta. Finished making all my pasta, and I'm just leaving it out until I'm gonna put it in the water to cook it. Which brings me to my next task, which is gonna be just slicing some vegetables to put into the sauce. First thing, and it also brings me to my next product. If you wanna kind of go a step, further, if you wanna work at trying to cut down on waste, reusable bags are great. I use them for everything. I don't tend to buy things in plastic bags because we're trying to reduce that, but I love a product like this. I use it every single time I go grocery shopping. It is a bit of a, trick, especially if you're not good at remembering like me. I have a hard time with, grabbing the bags, so I always make sure to hook them up right beside my door as you're leaving. So I know every single time I need to go do groceries, I can grab them and I can go to the grocery store and I don't have to worry about, relying on plastic. I'll put a list of the products in the description and where I got them from. So I'm just going to slice up my vegetables that are going to be going into the sauce. So of course I completely forgot to press the start button on the camera and I didn't film me slicing the vegetables, which is fine. But I did want to take a moment and show you my compost. Just a friendly reminder.
Compost.
Alright, so I'm going to actually get started on my sauce for my pasta, which brings me to product number 3. And that is this little gadget. It's an ice cube tray, and it's used to, I fill it with herbs, usually garlic, because even though I love garlic, I use it in everything. I'm not a big fan of cutting garlic. Get a big bunch of garlic, throw it into food processor, whip it up, and I just cut it in here, or put them in here, and store it in the freezer. And after a few hours, I pop them out and I get little garlic cubes. So you don't have to use this. You can use an ice cube tray. Just make sure it's a dedicated ice cube tray or your ice is gonna taste like garlic. I don't like that. So I have a dedicated one. If you don't wanna go out and buy a product, you can totally even just put globs on like a sheet pan and put that in your freezer. And then, wrap it up and put it inside a Ziploc bag or a reusable plastic bag to help save you time in the kitchen. So I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to throw them in and get my spoon and I'm going to start sauteing these. And you can see they're starting to melt, and it's such an easy way to get that delicious garlic flavor without having to do much. Ooh, one fell out, which for me. Now for one of my biggest tips on how to cut back on waste. And it's really simple. The best way to cut down on waste is growing your own food, at least that I found. Now, this isn't possible for everyone. Even myself, I am limited. I'm in a townhome, so yards aren't that big. Even though next year we have expanded our garden and I'm trying to grow as many tomatoes as possible so I don't have to rely on things like this. And although it kills me that I have to buy a can, it's also out of my budget to go and buy, you know, a bunch of fresh tomatoes every single time I want to make a pasta sauce. You shouldn't have to break the bank to be zero waste. It's baby steps. Doing even just a little bit helps the planet. I would love to be able to grow, you know, and be kind of fully sustainable with growing my own food and, you know, kind of have that dream. But I'm not in that position in my life yet. Hopefully one day. But there are some things that I can do and grow even in the dead of winter when there's, you know, 2-3 feet of snow on the ground. There's things that I can grow, and I'll show you. I am in the spare bedroom in our house. It is quite an empty room. We don't even have a bed in here yet, and it's not really set up as a spare bedroom. But what we do have in here is greens. This is just some salad greens that we've been growing. We pick from here. I know it doesn't look like that much. It's only, you know, this half. This is parsley. In the back we have cilantro, mainly for me because Daniel doesn't like cilantro. But yeah, I'm just growing some kale. This is a red Russian kale, one of my favorites. Second favorite is the dinosaur kale. It's delicious, it's hearty, great for chips if you're like kale chips. And it's really easy. You actually don't need the grow lights. But it's one of my favorite things to grow. I love it. I don't eat it raw. I like eating kale cooked. But it's delicious, and I love the fact that I can reduce waste because especially with this lettuce, what does lettuce come in? It comes in plastic, and it's really rare that you can find something, or you can find lettuce that doesn't come in plastic or that isn't super expensive. I can grow this for super cheap, and I get mass amounts of it without the plastic. It's literally a win-win. And on top of that, lettuce is pretty to look at. You can get, you know, different colors. You can get, usually they come in reds and greens. And they have this beautiful rosette shape to them, and they make a beautiful houseplant. They really do. So if you wanted an edible houseplant, try growing lettuce. And you can pick off of it, and you can have a salad. It's also just a really cool conversation piece when people come over. One of my favorite snacks, though, is the tops. They're so sweet whenever they're this young. Oh, it tastes really good. So I'm done harvesting. Now back to dinner. The vegetables are all sauteed up. I'm just gonna add that can of diced tomatoes right into there. Mix that around. And then I'm also gonna add 1 cup of water to this. And I'm gonna let this kind of reduce. I'm just gonna add some fresh cracked pepper to this. Now I put that extra water in there for a reason. That's because I am using another product right here, and this is TVP, also known as texturized vegetable protein. It's almost like a dehydrated tofu almost, except better texture. At least I think it has better texture. Whenever you add water to it, it almost becomes like a ground beef kind of texture. So I'm just gonna add about a cup. It's a generous cup. Right here, I have some water that's starting to simmer. I'm just gonna add a bit of salt to it. Give that a stir. And in just about a minute, I'm gonna actually put my pasta in there. I just want this to thicken up a little bit more first. Right now it's looking good. Oh, it smells so good too. Now this is a big batch of food. This isn't gonna be eaten just because there's only 2 of us, but I like to make big dishes so I can save it for the next day for lunch. I'll bring all my pasta over. Here it is, and I'm just gonna drop it right into the water slowly. So you don't want to splash it up on your hands. Beautiful. Grab a spoon or any sort of stirring material. Give it a quick stir in the warm water. Let them cook. Hi, Dora. You guys want to take a cat break? Yeah? Hey, Dora. How you doing? Oh, yeah, I know. I know I don't have the right to film you. I should call you Karen. Alright, back to the cooking. Now that kale we harvested, we're just gonna toss that in. I just destemmed it and rough chopped it. You can see just like that, it cooks down really fast, kale. It just adds a little bit of green into this dish, which I love. I always like colorful food. Your food should always be colorful. It means you're getting lots of different nutrients. Unless you eat candy, then it's going to be colorful and there's going to be no nutrients. Alright, my pasta's done cooking, so I'm just going to drain and toss it in. Add in our pasta. Big, beautiful ribbons. And I'm just going to toss it in the sauce. Now, my favorite thing to use here is tongs. I thought it might have been missing something, so I decided just to go grab some parsley. So dinner's all finished up and it's time to eat. So I'll say goodbye for now. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed sharing little tips and tricks that have helped me so far. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have anything to add on to any of those, or if you have any suggestions of what I can do further to push myself to go further into zero waste and into being more self-sustainable. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, god damn it.